Howdy folks, Greyhawk 4x4 coming at you again, your resident vintage gamer. Today we're going to do a little bit of a different type of video. What I'm going to show you guys today, and this is going to basically be for those who are collectors, game collectors, you know, old school role-playing, board game collectors, whatever, because that's another element to our hobby is, in addition to, you know, creating as a DM or player or whatever, there's also the collecting aspect of the old outer print stuff and all that kind of stuff. So I know a lot of you guys are collectors out there. So I wanted to show you guys what my method is for how I curate my collection. I've spent a lot of years coming up with this system, and I think it works pretty well for me anyway. There's a couple little tidbits in here that I know you guys will find useful, so let's get started. So basically, in addition to, you know, playing and DMing and everything else, of course, I'm a collector, and I collect all of the old school tabletop D&D modules, game materials, all that stuff. It's very difficult to get a complete collection. I mean, there were so many products, but there is something that will help you. I use this tool right here. This is the back side. I'll show you what the front side looks like. This is basically a listing of all of the TSR products that were created up to a certain date. And I believe it was like I want to say it was like 1994. I don't know that they have a definitive date on this poster or whatever, but I think it was up through 1994 or something like that. So it's for all the old school out of print stuff. This is actually what the poster is called. It's called the Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Trivia Athlon, the Arcane Challenge, and it was actually as you can see, it's actually a bunch of questions, trivia questions and stuff you were supposed to fill out. It was a contest and everything. This is on the one side, the whole trivia thing, and then on the back side was this listing, the product listing of everything. So, and it's all, you know, it's separated. You've got regular Dungeons and Dragons, and then you've got Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. You've got Dragonlance. You've got Forgotten Realms, of course, Greyhawk, Alcadim, Bertha. And you've got all these different game worlds that they produced, and then all of the products that go with them. So I use that as one of my tools for my collecting. The other thing that I use is right here. Let's see here. I'll show you the cover here real quick here. I'll close this up real quick. So that's what it looks like there. It's called the Dungeons and Dragons Collector's Checklist, CC1. And the guy who made it, he just has his name as Richard on here. Now, what this is my list of all my Dragon magazines and then what I'm missing and everything. So I know when I go to a convention or something, I can tell if there's something I need to buy. But what this is the same thing that's up on that poster, but it's in PDF form. And he has in here everything. I mean, he has it. See, there you go. Indiana Jones, RPG, you name the, you know, he's got, up until a certain point, he has every RPG, every product on this checklist. And it is still available. I don't know if I'll put a link at in the box below. If I remember it, I will, because I'm just going to upload this from my phone. But if I remember, I'll go back and put a link. But if not, one of you guys can remind me in the comments, and then I can always respond to it at that time and put the link in. So that document is still available. All I did was save it and print it out. It's in PDF. You cannot alter it. You cannot edit it unless you pay Adobe, you know, to convert it to a Word document or whatever. I haven't done that. I didn't see the need. I just printed it out and put it in. And I put it in these document protectors. And then I just take them out as I'm working on something. And then I just printed out the cover and slipped it in this thing here. And we were good to go. So, anyway, between the poster and this, the poster is my quick reference. So, as you can see, I have things in highlight here, and I have a little. There's a little legend right there that I use. Basically, if I highlight it a certain color, it tells me that I already own it. And what that does is basically, if I'm tooling around on the internet and I see something on eBay for sale, and it's a good deal or something, and I go, damn, I don't even know if I have that. And then I can just come up here to the poster, and I can look real quick and tell if I have it. And then, saves me from ordering a duplicate or something like that. But what I've been doing is using, in conjunction with this, is as I go through my collection, and then I I call it bagging and tagging. I bag and tag the product. Once I do that, I mark it in the book and any notes regarding that, and then I highlight it on this list, which obviously is my quick reference. So it's cross-reference there, because instead of having to dig the book out, I can just look up at the poster. And then once it's in both places, then I know that it's been bagged and tagged and it's been put away properly to protect it. So that moves on to the next thing, which is the bagging and tagging. So, for instance, I'm up to the I series for the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons modules, and this is the Desert of Desolation super module, they call it, because it was I3 through 5 all in one super module. And what I use is once I mark it in the book, mark it up there, and put it in a bag, and if it's a small one, if it's a thin one, I put one of these backboards on there to put inside the bag to help protect it. And then I take one of these little stickers. Now I've got all my personal information marked off on here, but you get one of these little stickers here that you get usually free in the mail when these charities and things send you stuff where they want you to send money. Sometimes there are packs of these little stickers with your name and address on them that you can use as on return envelopes if you're mailing something. And they're usually in there. There's usually a bunch of them in there. There's like 50 or 100 or whatever. And I just save those, and then after I bag and tag something, I put it on there, and that tells me when I look at the product, if I go to pull it out of my container here, out of one of these, and I see that sticker in a bag, I know that that's been inventoried. It's been inventoried, it's been marked on here, and it's been put on the poster up there for a quick reference. So that way, no matter what, I know that everything's been done. It's been properly taken care of. And for insurance purposes, because once this is all done, my insurance agent's going to get a copy of all this, so that if there was ever a catastrophe and I lost my collection somehow, for insurance purposes, I have it documented. And this kind of also shows, because I take a picture. At the very last thing I do after I bag and tag something is I take a photo with my phone, and that backs up automatically to the cloud. And now I've got a picture of the product with my name on it to go along with the inventory book for insurance purposes. So when I'm all said and done, it's going to take a long time, because if I didn't have a full-time job, if I was retired, I'd get this done fairly quickly. But I work on it when I can, and eventually, I've got a whole room of shit that I've got to basically inventory and everything. So, but at least this is a start. And to me, this is the easiest way for me to keep track of everything, know what I have, what condition. Now, in this book, speaking of condition, I can write, like, in little notes in here, and I can write how many copies of something. If I have more than one copy of that particular product, I can put it in there. Also, I can mark if something's missing. Like if it's not a complete, like let's say this module was incomplete and there was a map missing or something like that, I could mark it here on the sheet in the little box right there. That would help me to know, like, if another one comes up for sale and it's a good deal and I've got an incomplete one and I have a shot at getting a complete one, I can go ahead and do that. Or in the rare instance where somebody just happened to be selling that map loose, I could buy it to complete the one that I have, but that's pretty rare. But anyway, so, and then I just put them all in these hanging folders by letter. Like this is the I series in here. And then it will go in one of these. And then these plastic bins go on the shelf. And if there was ever a situation where we had to evacuate, I can grab these boxes and load them in my truck fairly easy. And I keep them on the shelves up off the ground so that if there was a flood for some reason in this room, they're up high enough, hopefully, where I'd be able to get them out before the water reached them and so forth. So, anyway, that is a look into how I curate my collection. If you guys have other ways that you do it that you think are better, there are little tips and tricks that maybe would be helpful for me or somebody else, feel free to leave them below. Again, if you want the link to where to find this document, and you guys remind me in the comments, I can, of course, then put it in there. As soon as I'm done with this, I'm just going to upload it straight from my phone, so I'm not going to edit or anything like that. Not until YouTube decides they want to pay me for doing videos, then I'll get back to doing shit super professional with editing and all that kind of stuff. But until then, they get what they get. So, anyway, guys, any questions, leave them below. Please subscribe, hit the like button, the bell, whatever, and leave a comment. We'll talk to you guys on the flip side.